Friends, neighbors, countrymen, lend me your ears. I'm about to read another chapter of Ken Schoolin's The Adventures of Jonathan Gullible, a free market odyssey. This is chapter 22, The Bazaar of Governments. What is the best government? That which teaches us to govern ourselves. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Jonathan lay still in frustration. Mises reappeared, exploring garbage cans in the alley. He sniffed at the bread in Jonathan's pockets, but a noise at the end of the alley drove him back into hiding among the piles of junk. A large brown cow wandered toward Jonathan. "Moo!" lowed the cow. The bell on her neck clanged slowly as she moved. Suddenly, another cow appeared at the end of the alley, followed by a rugged old man with a stick. "Get back here, you silly beast," grumbled the herdsman. Jonathan wriggled and used his shoulder to nudge over a box next to him. The old man peered into the gloom. "Who's there?" Seeing Jonathan tied and bound, he rushed over to pull off the gag. Jonathan breathed in relief. "I've been robbed! Untie me!" The old man reached into his pocket for a knife and cut the cords. "Thank you," said Jonathan. Rubbing his sore wrists, he eagerly told the man what had happened. "Yeah," said the rugged farmer, shaking his head. "You have to watch everyone these days. I would never have come to town except that I was told I could get help from the government." "Do you think the government will help recover my money?" asked Jonathan. "Not likely, but maybe you'll have better luck at the Bazaar of Governments than I did," replied the old herder. His face had more wrinkles than a prune, and he wore rough clothes and goatskin sandals. Jonathan felt reassured by his calm manner and direct speech. "What's the Bazaar of Governments?" "Is it a place to sell cattle?" asked Jonathan. The old man frowned and contemplated his two placid beasts. "That's what I came to find out," said the herdsman. "Actually, it's kind of a variety show. The building is fancier than a bank and bigger than anything I've ever seen. Inside are men pushing all sorts of governments to handle a citizen's affairs." "Oh?" said Jonathan. "What kind of governments are they trying to sell?" The herdsman scratched his sunburned neck and said, "There was this one feller calling himself a socialist. He told me that his form of government would take one of my cows and give it to my neighbor. I didn't care much for him. I don't need any help giving my cow away to a neighbor when it's necessary." Then there was this communist in a bright red shirt. He had a booth next to the first peddler. He wore a big smile and kept shaking my hand, really friendly-like, saying how much he liked me and cared for me. He seemed all right until he said that his government would take both of my cows. It'd be okay, he claimed, because everyone would own all the cows equally, and I'd get some milk, if he thought I needed it. And then he insisted that I sing his party song. "Must be some song," exclaimed Jonathan. Didn't have much use for him after that. I reckoned he was going to skim most of the cream for himself. Then I wandered across the big hall and met a fascist, all dressed in black. Looked like he was on his way to a funeral. The old man paused long enough to shoo one of his cows away from a rancid mound of rubbish. "That fascist also had a load of sweet talk up front and a lot of brazen ideas, just like the other guys. Said he'd take both my cows and sell me part of the milk." I said, "What? Pay you for my own cow's milk?" Then he threatened to shoot me if I didn't salute his flag right then and there. "Wow," said Jonathan, "I bet you got out of that place in a hurry." Before I could shake a leg, there's this progressive feller sidling up to me and offering a new deal. He offered me that his government wanted to pay me to shoot one of my cows to reduce the supply. He'd milk the other, then pour some of the milk down the drain. Said he'd help me buy what was left at a nice price. Now, what kind of crazy fool would go and do a thing like that?" "Sure seems strange," said Jonathan, shaking his head. "Did you choose one of the governments?" "Not on your life, sonny," declared the herdsman. "Who needs them? Instead of having them manage my affairs, I've decided to take my cows to the country market. I'll trade one of them for a bull." And that is the end of chapter 22. I think I have a new favorite. Chapter 22 is The Bazaar of Governments. Yeah, that is great. Fantastic. All right, well, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow with the next chapter, which will be chapter 23, The World's Oldest Profession. Oh, you won't want to miss this one. I think I have a hint what it might be. All right. Have a great day, and God bless you.